Nice.
And the floor is open.
I've been playing Fallout 2. I beat the original Fallout this past week, destroyed the mutant leader, the Master, and
Congrats.
got shunned from the vault
Golf
at the
claps.
end.
Golf claps.
Yeah.
Good work,
Uh,
man. Good work.
I kind of feel the same way about the original Fallout as I did last time I talked to you guys. Yeah, I warmed up to it more as I played it, but it never stopped being pretty rough around the edges and like not great in the ways that I wanted it to be great, primarily in the writing. But I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to start Fallout 2 immediately after, and the difference is pretty clear. The primary development group behind the two games is different. They were created at the same company, but the people who made Fallout were gone by the time Fallout 2 came around. So it's sort of a different creative team, and since the foundation of the universe was already established, I think they're riffing a lot more in Fallout 2, which just means that there's a lot more interesting, engaging stuff going on. Some of it pretty silly, some of it, um, pretty in concert with what would come in later games. But I think this experience is what I was hoping for from the original Fallout. So yeah, I'm digging it.
Good deal. You playing on PC?
Yeah.
Are you doing a Fallout kind of a walk through all of the games? Or you
I
just
don't.
wanted that nostalgia from like the earlier Fallout games?
I just had never played them. They're like the only Fallout games that I've never played before. The original ones. I have played Fallout 3 in New Vegas countless times, and over the past 2 years, I think actually 2018 and 2019, I platinumed 3 in New Vegas, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to put those down for a while and
Hmm.
probably not play them. But I frequently get the itch to play Fallout again, so I'm like, I really should just play these original ones and see where it came from. And I'm glad that I did. That started, like I mentioned, that started with me playing. Uh, Gosh, what was it called? The other CRPG that I
The mobile game that you're
yeah,
playing?
the one that I played.
Torment.
God, what was it
Torment.
called? Yeah, that's right, Planescape Torment. Thank
Yeah,
you.
there we go. Yep.
Gosh,
Mhm.
yeah. So I really enjoyed that game, and so that kind of like gave me the desire to go and play the more antiquated, you know,
The
old style
classic one.
Fallouts. Yeah, exactly.
Have you played Pillars of Eternity?
No, I haven't. That's like a modern CRPG in the same vein
It was
of
it
these
was
games. So
inspired
yeah,
by those. Yeah,
yeah.
I played that
Huh, really? I didn't
about
know
two
that.
months ago. I don't think I mentioned it on the pod, but yeah, I played that like 2 months ago. It was on Game Pass, and
Mhm.
I love that game. So I highly recommend that and its
Nice.
sequel. They're both on Game Pass. But yeah, it's really cool to really delve deep into those type of games because they're such different games and they're so
Yeah,
dense. You know,
they are.
they're dense more than a lot of other games are, especially like, just regular RPGs you'll get on console.
Right. Yeah,
Was
totally.
was Fallout and Fallout 2, are those, like Pillars of Eternity in that it's like a real-time combat?
No.
Or is it turn-based?
Fallout's totally turn based.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So Pillars is real time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, at least the one that I played. I think that's kind of what I played it also on Game Pass like 2, 3 months ago
Gotcha.
just because, it was there, and I couldn't get into it because it was, like, real time and
Mm,
I think I like traditional turn-based, so maybe I should actually go back to these Fallout games because 'cause I've never played them either,
yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe I would enjoy them as well.
In between Pillars of Eternity and Pillars of Eternity 2, Obsidian made a game in the same engine called Tyranny. And I've heard that Tyranny is
Hmm,
actually better than Pillars of Eternity, just in
Really?
the story. Yeah, it's like it.
Oh, really?
I just heard that it's
I
more
need to look this
creative
up.
and
Me too.
experimental. But I think Tyranny is only available on PC. I don't think they ever ported it to consoles.
Mwahaha. I can work with that.
Yeah,
I will let that sit for the next year until I get a PC.
yeah, right.
Oh, one more question for you, Ben. Did you ever play, Outer Worlds.
Yeah. Their latest
Yeah,
version.
how does that compare to Fallout for you?
That's a good question. I think a lot of I was with a lot of people where I wanted the Outer Worlds to be like a new Fallout New Vegas,
Mhm.
um, but it just isn't really.
Not
And
open world, right?
no, not really. It's like kind of got a hub and spoke model to it where you'd go and visit different planets. And actually, the Obsidian game that it reminds me of the most is Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Hmm,
Um,
They did make that. I
in
totally forgot about
structure,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they did. Um, so I feel like the ways that Outer Worlds is not what I wanted or expected it to be are the ways in which it tries to mimic the modern Fallout games in like the looting and combat and that kind of stuff. And the things that really shined that I enjoyed were the things that Obsidian's always been best at with the storytelling and characters and all that kind of stuff. But the whole package together, I really enjoyed while I played it, and then promptly forgot about.
hmm,
So
got
not definitely not a bad experience, but I hope that
Not
the
amongst
second
their
one kind
best.
of yeah. I just it certainly was not to the level that I was there. I think there was probably just too much hype behind it, and I was definitely victim of that. Um, but I still did enjoy it.
okay.
Cool.